After this march and march, I hope South Africans will wake up and discover that the country's biggest battles were never with foreigners in the first place. Jacinta Zuma, I have seen how some people are hailing you and even comparing you to the Woman King in the Netflix series. Others are even comparing you to Yaa Asantewaa, the historical queen mother of the Ashantis. These were brave women. Your bravery, in fact, and your concern about illegal migration in South Africa cannot go unnoticed. We have all seen it on the social media. Jacinta, I have listened carefully to what you and the March and March movement have been saying. I can see that you insist this march is not against fellow Africans. You say it is about bringing an end to illegal migration, drug trafficking, human trafficking, firearms, document fraud, organized crime, and so on. And Jacinta, if that is true, then maybe I have no argument with the March and March. Because I am hoping so much and believing that after the upcoming March and March, which you have scheduled on 30th June, and then beginning from 1st July after the March and March, I am hoping that South Africa will get rid of all illegal migrants. I am also hoping that the March and March will end the corruption in South Africa. Yes, I am hoping this March and March will stop Eskom load shedding and the power crisis that South Africa has. It is my prayer that this March and March will suddenly make your municipalities and home affairs function properly, as you have always had issue with. We are believing that this march will create many jobs for the youth who are unemployed and also be able to make organized crime in South Africa disappear. I am hoping this march will make drug syndicates pack their bags and also leave South Africa. If this happens, we will all hope and pray that you become the president of South Africa one day, as many of your followers also wish. But my dear Jacinta, and all the March and March movement, here is where I begin to struggle to understand all this. If your fight is truly against illegal migration, why does the anger seem to fall almost entirely on Africans or blacks? Isn't this suspicious, Jacinta? Because South Africa is home to foreigners from every corner of the world, including Americans, British citizens, Germans, Chinese nationals, and so many others who live and work in South Africa. You see, some of these non-African nationals are undocumented, and some of them are even living in South Africa illegally. Yet some of them own businesses that operate on a very large scale. Some of them control major industries. Yet, we rarely see public campaigns directed at those communities that are not African. So the wise one will wonder and will agree with me to ask, if this is really about illegal immigration, why aren't all undocumented foreigners being treated the same as you channel the anger towards blacks or African nationals in South Africa? Why is the conversation almost always about the blacks or other African nationals in South Africa? I believe in South Africa, the law applies equally to everyone. Is it not worrying that we see the Ghanaian Baba being beaten and harassed by people of this movement? We see the Nigerian grocery owner being asked to close business and leave. We see the Zimbabwean shop being looted by people of this movement. We see the Somali man being warned to leave the country by any means even before the 30th June march. We see other African embassies who are rushing to come for their people because they sense danger and human rights abuse towards their people due to actions of the people of March and March. Now, if any South African won't be so emotional about what I am saying, let's analyze this quickly. You see, all foreign nationals or immigrants in South Africa, they make up to about 4% of the South Africans' population. So I have tried as much as possible to establish a correlation between the 4% and the country's decades of unemployment and poverty. Yes, the electricity shortages, the corruption, the failing municipalities and home affairs, as well as the crime, violence, drug use, the trafficking, and other major issues that are in South Africa. Yet, I seem not to find any meaningful correlation between them. It only appears that African nationals or the black foreigners in South Africa become the most visible explanation for the problems that have much deeper roots, which maybe the March and March movement are not looking into. You see, I am not saying immigration has no impact at all to the problems of South Africa, but if removing foreigners solve unemployment, South Africa would already have solved many of these problems after years of deportations and repeated anti-immigrant campaigns. This is not the first time. This has been happening over and over. The same frustration keeps returning. Different year, different slogan, same anger, which tells me something deeper than the match and match. Jacinta, maybe the target is not the problem. Maybe the problem is the target. I have come to learn this about many Africans. When they are under immense and prolonged economic pressure, they often search for visible enemies. Usually, they turn to foreign migrants, sometimes the minorities that they may find, and sometimes the outsiders, because blaming the neighbor is easier than confronting the decades of policy failure that the country has. After this match and match, I hope South Africans will wake up and discover that the country's biggest battles were never with foreigners in the first place. A nation has every right to protect its borders, but no nation becomes stronger by confusing immigration enforcement with mob justice. Yes, if your anger cannot distinguish between a criminal and a shopkeeper, if this anger cannot distinguish between an undocumented migrant and a legal resident, if it cannot distinguish between organized crime and ordinary commerce, then what began as immigration enforcement and movement risk becoming something much darker. The developed countries didn't just identify enemies, they identified the right enemies. And perhaps this is the conversation South Africa and Africa should be having most of the times, ladies and gentlemen. So yes, Jacinta and the March and March movement. I would want to wish you the best in your March and March on the 30th of June 2026. But I hope that it will be peaceful and nobody will get hurt. There wouldn't be any casualties and other harassments that we have been seeing in the past. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. This is your boy Sikejua Kofi once again. Kindly subscribe to my YouTube channel and come back. Let us have another meaningful conversation.